The story's main character is Gemma, a primary school teacher. At the beginning of the story, she's in class teaching her students to imitate the sound of wind blowing through leaves. The children are fascinated, eagerly mimicking the sound of the wind. After class, the students wave goodbye and run out of the classroom to go home. At that moment, a student's mother approaches Gemma to ask about her house hunting progress. Gemma replies that they are still looking. She then notices a little girl standing by a tree with 2 dead birds lying on the ground, having just fallen from the tree. Gemma approaches the girl to comfort her, explaining that this is how nature works sometimes. After the girl leaves, Gemma hears a noise from the tree. Looking up, she sees her boyfriend, Tom, climbing down from the tree. He buries the birds and places the shovel back in the car. As they get into the car, Gemma reminds Tom to change clothes since they are going to view a house. After he changes, they head to a real estate agent's office where they meet a salesperson named Martin. Martin recommends a suburban development called Yonder and invites them to visit the location. Considering the affordable prices and its proximity to Gemma's school, they decide to go see it. Gemma and Tom follow Martin to Yonder. They quickly notice that all the houses in the neighborhood look exactly the same, and the entire area is eerily deserted. Though uneasy, they decide to explore further. Martin parks in front of one house and leads them inside number 9. Once inside, Martin opens the fridge, offering them champagne and strawberries. Gemma declines, saying she'll be driving. Martin doesn't press the issue and soon continues the tour. He shows them the living room without providing much detail. Throughout the visit, his behavior is odd. His smile is stiff, and his movements are mechanical, almost as if controlled by a program. He then takes them to a baby's room painted in blue. Gemma is surprised, and Martin explains that this is their forever home, designed for young families like them to live in for a lifetime. Martin asks if Gemma has children, to which she replies that they do not. He mimics her response in a strange tone and quickly guides them to the master bedroom. Gemma notices 2 neatly arranged sets of clothes by the bed but doesn't think much of it. Next, they head to the backyard, but Martin doesn't follow them in. Gemma looks over the fence and notices that no one lives next door. She turns to ask Martin when the neighbors are moving in, but to her shock, he's disappeared. The two rush out of the house and realize Martin's car is gone. Tom suggests they leave immediately. They quickly get in the car, but something strange happens. They find themselves back in front of house number 9 no matter which way they drive. They try different routes, but the result is always the same. Tom takes the wheel and tries driving, but the outcome remains unchanged. As night falls, the car runs out of gas. Gemma suggests they stay in the house for the night and figure out how to leave in the morning. They enter the house, take the champagne and strawberries from the fridge, and discover that the food has no taste at all. After eating a few bites, they head upstairs to sleep. The next morning, Tom takes a ladder to climb onto the roof to survey the surroundings, but all he sees are countless identical houses. After coming downstairs, Tom tells Gemma that they should head towards the direction of the rising sun, hoping to find an exit. So, they climb over a fence and begin walking towards the sun. As the day turns darker, Gemma notices a house in the distance with a light shining from it, so they quicken their pace to reach it. Upon entering the house, they realize they're still in the same house, number 9. While searching for clues inside, Gemma sees a box by the door. She approaches and finds it filled with vacuum-sealed food and daily necessities. She calls out loudly, hoping for a response, but the silence is deafening. Meanwhile, Tom picks up the box, tears it open, and uses a lighter to set it on fire, soon engulfing the entire house in flames. They watch the fire consume the house throughout the night. The next morning, they wake up covered in ashes. As they look around, they suddenly hear a baby crying. They rush to the source of the sound and find another box. Gemma opens the box and finds a note inside that says, "Raise this child and you will be freed." She picks up the baby in the box and discovers it's a boy, which explains why the baby's room was blue. Years pass and the word "help" appears on the roof, while the boy has grown into a 10-year-old. He enters Gemma and Tom's room, mimicking their arguments in their tone, and wakes them up. Then he asks Gemma to measure his height. Gemma does so, marking it on the wall. The boy asks again if he's grown taller, and Gemma confirms it. Then he asks her what dog means, to which Gemma replies that they've already told him. He then asks her if she feels a lot of pressure and calls her Mom. Gemma explains that she is not his mother. When the boy asks who his mother is, Gemma can only tell him that she doesn't know. Suddenly, the boy begins to scream, only stopping when Gemma and Tom prepare his breakfast. After breakfast, Tom collects all their trash, puts it in a box, and places it on the street. After setting the box down, he lights a cigarette and, with Gemma, waits by the box to see who will come to take the trash. Gemma tells Tom it's pointless because they'll never catch the person, then goes back inside to make coffee. Meanwhile, Tom stays outside and flicks his cigarette butt at the boy's chest, but the butt bounces off and falls to the ground. The ember from the butt ignites the nearby grass, and Tom immediately starts digging. Gemma quickly joins to help, but soon gives up when she notices that the box has disappeared. She immediately asks the boy if he moved the box, but the boy denies it. She then asks Tom, but he is too focused on digging to notice anything about the box. That night, after Tom returns from outside, Gemma asks him why he has been digging. Tom replies that he hopes there's something below the ground leading to somewhere. A few minutes later, they become intimate, with the boy secretly watching them from the side. The next day after breakfast, Tom tells Gemma that he's going to continue digging. Gemma offers to help, but Tom refuses. So, she stays at home doing laundry while the boy sits in front of the TV watching strange patterns. In the evening, Gemma leaves the house and gets into the car with Tom following her. They both find the car more comfortable than the house, as it's filled with a familiar smell that reminds them of home. During their conversation, Tom accidentally bumps into the radio, only to discover that it can turn on, and the batteries are still working. Later, Gemma turns on the radio and plays music, also turning on the car lights. She gets out of the car and starts dancing with Tom joining her. A few minutes later, the boy comes out of the house, watches them dance and then joins in. While they are dancing, the boy suddenly shoves Tom, causing him to fall to the ground and hit his head on the pavement. Tom immediately retaliates, brutally beating the boy before returning to the house. Gemma asks the boy if he's okay. The boy stands up and continues dancing. That night, when Gemma goes to cover him with a blanket, she tells him that they need some personal space. As she gets up to leave, the boy calls her mom again and says, "Good night." She replies, saying she is not his mother, and leaves the room. Soon after, the boy begins screaming. Gemma hurries back to his room and anxiously asks what he wants, but the boy doesn't respond, continuing to scream. Gemma starts shaking him, repeatedly ordering him to be quiet, and the boy finally calms down. Then the boy starts imitating Tom's behavior, which disgusts Gemma. She curses at him, saying, "So disgusting," and leaves his room. She returns to her room and lies next to Tom, but Tom says he's not in the mood and turns over to sleep. For the next few days, their life remains unchanged. By now, the hole Tom has been digging in the front yard has grown larger, and he begins hearing strange sounds from below the ground, which makes him even more determined to continue digging. One evening, the boy turns the TV volume up so high that Tom can't stand it. He walks over and turns the TV off, but the boy turns it back on. They repeat this several times, and in the end, Tom gives up and leaves the room. The next day, Tom becomes more and more frustrated with the monotonous life. He watches as Gemma pours milk for the constantly screaming boy, and in a fit of rage, he grabs a bowl of cereal and throws it against the wall, making the boy scream even louder. Tom grabs the boy and locks him in the car. He tells Gemma that if they don't give the child food, someone will eventually come to take him away. Gemma asks Tom, "What if no one comes?" Tom replies that if no one comes, the boy will die, and maybe that's when they will gain their freedom. He reminds Gemma that they are not the child's parents, so she doesn't need to take responsibility for him. Gemma looks at the poor child, grabs the car keys from Tom's hand and opens the car door. She apologizes to the boy and promises that Tom won't hurt him anymore. That night, Gemma covers the boy with a blanket again, and outside, Tom's digging sounds continue. She reassures the boy that Tom will get tired and go to sleep soon and tells him to rest as well. The boy asks Gemma what a dream is, and she explains the meaning of dreams to him. Then she lies down next to him and falls asleep, with the boy holding her tightly. Meanwhile, Tom falls asleep in the hole that night. Over the next few days, Gemma's relationship with the boy gradually improves. They begin eating together, spending time like a mother and child. Meanwhile, Tom always eats alone, quietly watching them picnic and play together. One morning, Gemma wakes up, washes her face and goes to look for the boy, only to find he is missing. She searches anxiously, fearing the boy has disappeared. She asks Tom, but Tom doesn't care and refuses to help her search. So, Gemma goes out into the streets, knocking on doors and asking around. When she returns to number 9, she finds the boy standing next to Tom, holding a book. Gemma takes the book from the boy's hands and opens it, only to find it filled with incomprehensible symbols and patterns, completely unreadable. She also notices that the book contains drawings of human figures with bulging throats. She closes the book, walks over to the boy who is watching TV and asks him who he met today. The boy answers that he can't say. Gemma then suggests they play a game of pretend. She asks the boy to imitate Tom and a dog, and the boy does so with remarkable precision. Then she asks the boy to imitate the person he saw today. Suddenly, the boy's throat bulges and his voice becomes eerie and unnatural, causing Gemma to instinctively step back in fear. She cries out that she just wants to go home, but the boy smirks and replies that she is already at home. Next, the boy transforms into an adult. Gemma serves him a meal, then brings her and Tom's dinner back to their room. She tells Tom that she regrets not letting him kill the boy back then. Tom, who has become ill from all the digging, is taken care of by Gemma, who helps him bathe. One day, Tom finds something at the bottom of the pit, but to his horror, it turns out to be vacuum-sealed bags filled with bodies. Panicking, he scrambles out of the pit and tries to call Gemma, but he collapses on the sidewalk, struggling to breathe. Hearing the noise, Gemma rushes out and sees Tom lying on the ground. She quickly helps him up and they both return to the house, only to find the door locked. Gemma calls out to the boy to open the door, but the boy completely ignores her. Desperate, she has no choice but to spend the night in the car with Tom. The next day, Gemma finds that Tom's condition has worsened. She pleads again for the boy to open the door, but the boy coldly tells her, "Tom's time has come." Gemma is powerless to do anything, watching helplessly as Tom dies. Hours later, the boy emerges holding a vacuum-sealed bag. He puts Tom's body inside and tosses it into the deep pit. The next day, Gemma hides in the car. When the boy exits the house, she silently follows him and, taking him by surprise, strikes him on the head with a shovel. But the boy remains unharmed. Suddenly, the boy crawls into a hole beneath the sidewalk, and Gemma quickly follows him, only to fall into a red room, where a small boy and a crying woman are present. She falls again, landing in another room where a man and a woman are having sex, while the boy sits next to them, clapping. She falls again and lands in a bathroom, where a man has committed suicide in the bathtub. Terrified, she tumbles down a flight of stairs, only to find herself back in the number 9 house. By now, she is physically and mentally exhausted, and the boy eventually puts her into a bag. The boy tells her, a mother should take care of her son and then die, before tossing her body into the deep pit. Suddenly, the pit disappears and fresh grass sprouts on the ground. In the end, the boy drives Gemma's car back to the original property agency. He finds that Martin is on the verge of death, so he removes his name tag and puts him into a vacuum-sealed bag. The boy then walks to the door, smiling as he prepares to greet the next unsuspecting couple. If you enjoyed the recap, please leave a like and subscribe, and don't forget to turn on notifications so you can watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.